So some of you know I just came back after a week with my guru Amma, and I thought I'd start with one of her quotes. As always, my meeting with her, this was my 25th year, so it was phenomenal. But I think there's so many things that stand out, and I thought one thing that really stood out this time that would be relevant to our class today, so I thought I'd start with that. So this is one of her quotes, and it says, "It is Amma's prayer that we develop the expansive mindedness to embrace both scientific knowledge and spiritual wisdom. We can no longer afford to see these two streams as flowing in opposite directions. In truth, they complement one another. If we merge these streams, we will find that we are able to create a mighty river, a river whose waters can remove suffering and spread life to all humanity." So it's a really interesting quote, I think, coming and unexpected. And I think a lot of even Westerners who follow Amma are not aware that she's also the chancellor of one of the most prestigious research universities in the world, which is quite phenomenal because the Hugging Saint also runs a research university. And while I was there, one of the things that the reason it prompted me to get this quote was there was a meeting, there was a time she wanted to talk to my son about his research, and she called he was describing it, and she was calling all her people who were traveling with her, who were all doing research in artificial intelligence and, all kinds of things. I mean, robotics and, at her university, she was introducing him to the university research. And you have to remember that this person, Amma, doesn't even have a second grade education. So I think what's beautiful here is that the concept of all Vedic knowledge, which is the theme that we are working with, we started with Shiva Shakti, Sun, Moon, it's always the polarities coming together. And so here, this quote is on the polarity of science and spirituality, which in the West, it's seen as two very separate things normally. But in the East, it's not. There's no, these things spill over into each other because they're both aspects of creation. Our desire as human beings to create life, for example, is part of, it's almost wired in us to create new things, to create new science, from the time we found the fire, right? So, but it needs to be in the hands of spiritual direction rather than commercial direction. And I think that's what she's saying here. So I thought this was quite beautiful to set our theme for today. And as we go on to study all the houses and the signs. So here we are. So just a little summary. Aries and Libra. Look at the polarity here. Aries is opposite Libra, if you remember in the zodiac. Aries is self-centered. It's about me. And Libra is cooperation. Two opposite polarities that must come together. The same with houses 1 and 7. If we are going to succeed, just like science and spirituality have to come together. Physics and metaphysics, spirit and matter. And Taurus, Scorpio, Taurus builds, Scorpio tears it down. That's houses 2 and 8. And Gemini, Sagittarius, outer knowledge and inner perception. If you skip any of these steps, you will not be whole. So if you go to get inner perception, I can just feel it, I can know it without actually getting concrete knowledge of Gemini, you'll be missing pieces. So that's really the theme of all of astrology, particularly counseling in Vedic astrology, is if things are not working in your life, there is a missing piece. That polarity needs to be coming into balance. You're either in an extreme of one or the other. Cancer, Capricorn, home life, public life, houses 4 and 10. Leo and Aquarius, my personal creativity, and how does that fit with my social responsibility? I want to do certain things because I'm a creative human being, but how does that affect the whole of humanity and community? And those two have to come together in order for us to be successful. And that's houses 5 and 11. And then Virgo and Pisces, which is how do we balance a life of order and a life of chaos simultaneously? okay, in houses 6 and 12. And we saw a little bit of that when we did Rahu Ketu, but it actually applies to the whole chart. And as we go along, so keep these polarities in mind. And later on down the road, I will do a class just on the polarities and how they come together. But so really it's the same, the science and spirituality coming together